Now Museum, Now You Don't is brilliant. This is the second segment of the first episode of the second season of Baby Looney Tunes. And as we had in the previous segment, Floyd is taking the babies out, and in this one, they're going to an art gallery or an art museum. Some of the babies were enthusiastic about it, some, Daffy, not so much. But I loved seeing the art gallery animated. It was brilliant. The artifacts looked wonderful, the exhibits, and we get a parody of Mona Lisa, which is actually called the Lonely Lisa, and I will forever know it as that now. Also, I don't expect to learn anything from Baby Looney Tunes, but this taught me the word docent. I'd never heard it before, and I don't know why, because I spend a decent amount of time in galleries, but credit to the episode for doing that. And I will say they didn't spend as much time in the gallery as I would have liked them to, but what we get afterwards is great because they then begin to act out things inspired by the exhibits. For example, at the exhibit, there was a chair, and when they go home, they find what is technically an ordinary chair in Granny's house, but Bugs tells this story about how it belonged to King Tazzy the Eight, and we get to see this played out on screen, and it's so delightful. And there's a story about the lonely Lisa, and there's a quote from Daffy, which is art is fun when you know the stories behind it, and that is actually something I agree with. I do feel like you can appreciate art without knowing any of the context, anything about the artist. But for me personally, I like that knowledge. I like to know more about where it came from, what it was inspired by, how long it took to create. So the more you know about something, potentially the more interesting it can be. And I love that the babies went to this art museum and then it inspired their own stories. And I think that's a really engaging way to get children to interact with art, is to encourage them. This is actually something I do not as often as I used to, but for just creative writing practice, is to write short stories about a painting, particularly paintings where I don't know anything about it. For example, I don't know, we have a picture of a dog and a boy in a meadow. Who are they? What are they called? Why are they there? Are they going home? Are they going for a walk? Is there another child there? And I think that's a really great way to encourage creativity. Or in this case, if they're not old enough to write full stories yet, to have some creative play, to act out the scenes that they think revolve around these exhibits. And I think that that's beautiful and so fun. It's a very well animated episode. I don't know how I feel about Floyd yet. I don't dislike Floyd, absolutely not. But I don't know if I like what the character's adding to the show or if I'm just kind of a little bit in the middle. We'll see. But for now, I definitely enjoyed Now Museum, Now You Don't. Definitely one of my favourite episodes of Baby Looney Tunes so far.